no matter what. I'm feeling great.
Om Shanti and welcome back to an all-new episode on Light of Knowledge with Sister Janki. We talked about gratitude in our previous episode, and today we are going to find about sustenance, how not just the Brahma Kumaris or Kumaris, but in general, how does this Brahma Kumari philosophy sustain individuals? And we'll also take a look at Didi's international travels and her experiences. Didi, welcome back to the Godlywood studio and to the show.
Om Shanti. Thank you.
Didi, a question comes to mind. Brahma Kumaris has a lot of centers all around the world, and if I'm not mistaken, about 8,500 centers in 140 countries.
Yeah.
That's what I recall. That is a tremendous amount of centers with all the dedicated individuals that are in this organization. How is the sustenance possible, in the sense, do you have any kind of magic tricks or, magic words that keep people together?
I really am not in favor of the word magic, because when we do something that gives us so much of benefit, gives us so much of happiness, it teaches us about ourselves, and it also helps us to grow up in a wise way, and it also helps us to interact with people in a better way. I don't think it's magic. I think it's learning. I think it's growing. I think it's knowing. I think it's understanding. So people enjoy it, because over the years, they can feel themselves becoming more knowledgeable. And this is what sustains them.
So it's the magic of love, I suppose.
The magic of understanding the self.
Okay.
Because once we know the self, we can understand other people. Once we know the self, then we can reach out to other people. Once we know the self, we can change the self and help people to change themselves. So it's like sharing.
Mm-hmm. This is really beautiful. And I was wondering, can we extend this understanding when it comes to children at home? Because nowadays, children are not very obedient, if I may use that word, when it comes to listening to their parents. And Brahma Kumaris has done something, on a colossal level. But here, in a family unit, we have maybe 3-4 children, and we're not able to communicate with them. So how can we bring this aspect into each family?
You see, a family may have 3 children. The father, the mother, and 3 children, 5 of them in the family. But each one is a soul, and each one comes with a different kind of experience, maybe past lives, maybe the present lives. They all have different experiences. Until and unless all the 5 people, they communicate with one another. What is it that they want? What is it that they are not pleased with? What is it that they're expecting? If they can get together in a kind of a conversation, a happy conversation, it's not a complaining thing, it's just like trying to cooperate. Because, when families get together, say in a meal, they have one meal together. So the family that eats together stays together. Or the family that prays together stays together.
Right.
So somewhere there must be some communication where each one knows what the other expects and how much to expect. And there is this loving give and take. If this can happen, then the family will be okay. But we must understand that each soul is very, very unique, and maybe coming from very different backgrounds from the past lives. If you believe in a previous birth, they could have come from a very traumatic family, and they will give more demands, more problems. Whereas a child that's born which had come from a very nice family, a harmonious family, will have less demands. So each child is different. If the parents can understand that each child's need is different and how they have to handle each child, and there should be no comparison. You can't say, see, your sister is better than you, or see, she is learning and you are playing. So this kind of comparison is not good. So if they can understand that each one has his or her own background and how they can mold that into a new personality, how they can bring that into a mold that they would like. So this is bringing the children up. So some of them, they succeed, some don't succeed. But every parent has to be aware that a child that is born to them, they are responsible for the child's well-being for up to 20 years or 25 years. Because it's their duty. They brought that child into this world and they have to take care of the child. So commitment, love, understanding, molding, these are some of the factors that are involved in bringing up a healthy family.
That's
And
true.
the same thing happens in a Brahma Kumaris Center. So people come with different feelings. They come with different hopes. Some come with great ambitions. Some want to be this and that. And some want to make business out of the knowledge. So different people come with different things. But when we can tell them, this is the greatest treasure to understand and to be. You can't get a better treasure than this, because you are taking care of yourself in this one life and also all many other lives that are to come.
I have seen in families that in spite of your best efforts, in spite of your good intentions, whether it is between a mother and a child or a spousal relationship, when you look at a family as a detached observer, you see that all the 5 individuals are trying to live in harmony, but they're not successful in spite of their best efforts. What should somebody do in a scenario like that?
You see, no family is perfect and no human being is perfect. So if we can accept each one with his or her own good points and bad points, or strengths and weaknesses, then there is no problem. But if we make that an issue and saying that this person is like this, then there's no solution. Again, family is a unity. They have to get together. And if they understand the commitment that they have towards each other, then they have to work together. Because there's no success without commitment, without responsibility, without love, without a little sacrifice. So if they can understand that each one is trying, and that's sacrifice, that each one is trying to be nice, and that's love, and each one is trying to understand, and that is wisdom. So if they can just understand that each one is trying his best and nobody is perfect, then I think they can overcome many of the problems that they face.
Okay. You have traveled internationally, and maybe you got a chance to observe family units in different countries. Was there anything that stood out in your mind in terms of cultural differences or how the families interact with each other?
Yes. Yes, culture plays a very big role in molding persons. Like many people I've seen, they're very independent, even from childhood. They have their own mind, they know what they want, they can ask what they want, they're independent of their parents. And so they are like more confident, and they know what they want and they get what they want. But there are others who are more like obedient and listen to adults, and they are more, like helping to please adults. So these are 2 different varieties. Both are good, but if we can have a blend of both, that would be nice. There are times then when we have to show our own individuality. There are times when we have to like pay respects to the adults. So we have to blend. To be too independent is also not so good, or to be too dependent is also not so good. How can we blend? And now we say that the world is a global village, and now everybody's blending. So we see lots of changes, lots of people getting together, different cultures can mold in harmony, and it's happening.
But do you think the problems are the same all across the board? I mean, are the problems that families face, are they specific to each country, or everybody has like the same underlying problem?
The thing is, everybody wants peace. Everybody wants happiness and security. This is the underlying thing. But how they look for it and how much they work for it,
That's true,
is the difference. Because if you go all out to earn, then who will take care of the children? If you take care of the children, then you can't expect much money. So the balance again. Now in Bali, what I see is the mothers, they open small shops in their homes. So they are at home, they are taking care of the children, they are cooking, and their children are under their care, and they go to school and come back. The mother is there in the home waiting for them, and they also have a small shop. So somebody comes to get salt or sugar or some other kitchen, essentials, they are there. So it's like double function, and they're combining these two, which I think is good. They don't go out in a big way, but small business, enough to add a little more money for the family, and the children are taken care of.
you have probably met with a lot of eminent personalities in different countries, and this is something which not everybody can do in terms of being comfortable, meeting personalities. And when you were interacting with them, or what was the kind of experience that you had as a person, as an organization, what were your experiences?
You see, most of the people I meet, they look at you, into your eyes, to see what you are. Are you confident? Are you comfortable with yourself? And they see that you are another human being like them, and they take to you immediately. So the vision, the way we see, is very significant. And I also find that they are searching for somebody they can trust. They are also very confident in their positions. They are very well-to-do, and they have very good positions, but still they're human beings, and they want a kind of a warmth, a kind of an acceptance that they don't ask for it, but they can see it in a person, and that makes them feel comfortable. And many of them also open up, and they say, see, I'm in this big position, but actually I'm not happy because of this, or I'm in this position, but I have this problem. And they can open up within a very short time period. So I feel that any human being, at whatever level he or she is, they are very basically human. And they also want a true relationship, a kind of a relationship that is not seeking, not asking, not grabbing, but just being a friend, just being there. And that's what makes them feel like comfortable. So you don't have to see the person in that kind of a position, but he's another human being, your brother or your father or your child, somebody. So if you can create that kind of a feeling of belongingness, a feeling of being the same, a feeling of acceptance and warmth, that breaks a lot of barriers from their higher level position to where you are. And so there is closeness, and there is much like warm interchanges,
Right.
interchange or conversation between us.
Okay.
I find that as Brahma Kumaris, those who learn meditation, those who have this inner power, those who are connected to God, they can meet anybody because they have that kind of um, sustaining power in them that can help them to reach out to anybody and touch that person's soul. But it takes time. And you see, our seniors, they are very good. It doesn't matter who comes in front of them, they are just like little children in front of them. So, this is the power of the soul. So, if we can develop that in us, then that's good. I'm not there at that level, but I find that I'm more comfortable now with more and more people. So that's a good sign.
Right.
But our daddies are very great examples. And so I really salute them.
Right. During your travels, did you meet any important personality who took to Rajyoga meditation and the knowledge, and who has given you the feedback that it actually helps them? Whether it is their busy schedule or maintaining their focus or...
Yeah. Yes. In a gathering, I met the governor of Bali. He's the highest person in Bali at the
Right,
moment.
right.
So when he met me, he said, sister, you are my teacher.
Wow.
And I've not met him. And he said, how come? He says, I've been following your programs on TV when I'm on the treadmill.
That's nice.
And now he says, I know what is peace. I know what's happiness. I know what's tolerance. And I've learned a lot. And now when I listen to his speeches, he doesn't say, now don't quarrel among yourselves. Now don't ask for money. Don't ask for raise. And for a raise in your salary. But he says, we have to be peaceful. We have to show the world we are peaceful so that we can draw more tourists. We have to be happy. Happiness is our birthright. If we are not happy, what can we achieve? Nothing. And so now he's talking about virtues, values, powers, and he's got it from the Brahma Kumaris. And another person also who's very influential is the high priest. He tells me, only you Brahma Kumaris teach about the mind, thoughts, meditation. We don't know anything. So we want to learn from you how to meditate.
That's really nice. I mean, this is really significant. Didi, it's been so interesting listening to the stories that you had to tell us and your life experiences. And we look forward to continuing this conversation. So we will see you back again in our Godlywood studio. And thanks for being with us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Sister just talked about how Raj Yoga is helping families stay together, and also people in high positions. They are finding Raj Yoga useful and helpful in spite of their busy schedule. And this kind of feeling that is generated in the society is going to usher in a better world for all of us to live in. I hope you're enjoying these shows as much as I am, and we look forward to seeing you again in our next episode. Until then, take care and Om Shanti.